Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Judy Lee and you can find out more about what I do in the description box below. And so we're here to do the channeled weekly guidance energy reading for the week ahead. And the message that has been coming in very strongly, just to start with, is about fear and about moving from love to fear. And I think it's an ongoing message really, but it just feels very strong at the moment. And so what that means is, whether it's because of circumstances that are happening in the world, whether it's fear of the future, all those type of things, it's really important to stay in the frequency and vibration of love. And we know when we get into that space of being in our heads and just all the disaster stories and all that type of stuff starts to come through. That's when we're in that fearful state and feeling very anxious. So it's really important to breathe. Breathing is the best thing to get back into the present moment, and then to really tune into your heart space. And so if what you can do, a quick way to do it is really think of a loved one, someone who you really love, whether they're living in this present reality or whether they've moved on, transitioned, etc. It could be a pet. Just think of that person or animal or whatever it is that you truly do love, and that will help you to come back into that heart space. And so I guess it's really important firstly to acknowledge how you feel. That's having that awareness of that fear is really important, and it's not something that you can bypass and just try and have positive happy thoughts. That for me anyway personally doesn't work. But what's important is really to allow yourself to feel it, observe it, just notice it, be aware of it flowing through you, whether it's in oh, I'm having those thoughts now, or whether it's I can feel this tension in my body. It's really important to allow that to be there, because if you ignore it or try and push it away by trying not to experience those things, it'll just resist, it'll be even stronger. And so it's really important to allow that. But then once you've given that space and time, then it's moving into a different vibration, a different emotion, moving into that loving space, and breathing, going into nature, but also, like I mentioned just then, about feeling remembering that love that you've if you're having difficulty getting into that space, just think of that person that you have loved, or that animal that you did love or do love, for example, and that will help you to come back into that space. And the more that you can have that awareness and be aligned with that loving energy, the more that your life will shift and change, because it's so easy at the moment, and myself as well, so easy to get into that space of like, oh my gosh, look at what's happening now, and then there's something else, and then there's it's endless really, and there's no value in being in that way. There's value in experiencing it, but then after a certain point in time it becomes disabling, and you don't want to get to that space. And what we need on the planet right now is love, really, to transition from that fearful state, which is being it's a strong energy at the moment, and to really come back into that loving space. So that's just a message that really came through very strongly when I was out walking this morning. And yeah, so I hope you find that helpful. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'd love to support you, or just answer them. Just let me know. So we're going to shuffle the tarot and just see what other messages are coming out for the week ahead. So what other messages are for the week ahead? Oops. Another final card. Oh gosh, okay, that's way too many, but I'm going to take the one that fell out first. So let me just lay these out. Okay. And so at the bottom of the deck, the theme, yeah, it's again the Six of Cups, which is about getting back into that, you know, that childlike space, or not childish, but childlike, where you go back to that time in your life where things were innocent, you were loving, and, you know, you didn't think or worry about what's going to happen next. You didn't close your heart to things because you hadn't quite experienced difficult challenges. It's almost going back to that innocence, your child innocence, and also going back into that loving space, which is what that represents. So, you know, the distinction between childlike and childish, you know, you want to be in that, you know, just remember that point in time in your life when you were younger, and how free you felt then, and you know, you weren't burdened by what the experiences that you've had, and, you know, things that have maybe caused you to be fearful, to shut yourself down in some way, you know, to get into a different mindset, to, you know, that basically, what's the word? There's a word that came, basically created your beliefs, and it's about undoing all of that, and really getting back into that loving space. So, and which is aligns with the message I was getting about fear, and moving from love into fear, because this is what this is about. And, you know, the first card that came out was the Four of Cups, and so, you know, you can see that this guy is refusing to see the good things that, or there's an offering, because the cups represent our fulfillment, our joy, and things like that. So there's something that's being offered, but this person doesn't see it, and so the message I'm getting is, be aware of what you focus on, because especially at this, you know, when such a like energetic wise, it's a really potent time, and, you know, it's not to ignore yourself or what's going on. It's really important to acknowledge how you're feeling and what you're experiencing, but just be aware of where you're focusing your attention. Are you focusing on the things that could go wrong, and all the, you know, all that sort of, you know, I don't really want to use the word negative, but then it's not really high vibe really for you. So rather, instead focus on the things that are giving you joy, that are good for your soul, that lift your heart, lift your spirit, and, you know, focus on those things, because that's really important to stay in that vibration, especially, you know, in where we're at this time of the year. So that's really important there, to just be aware of where you're putting your attention. And then we've got the Strength card, and so again, like, I'm getting two messages. One is about remembering your strength, that you are a strong person and you have all that you need to overcome, or, you know, to do anything that you want to in life. And then the second part is about taming that part of yourself that goes into that fearful mode, or goes into that, oh, everything's going to be a disaster, or I don't have enough, or, you know, basically that that lack mindset. So it's really, so, you know, be aware of your strength and know that you are powerful, and step into that power. I think a lot of people have resisted that in the past because it's felt scary to step into that, to really say, oh gosh, I really do have the power to create, and gosh, that means I have to do something about it. Whereas before, you could just, you know, basically allow everything else around you to determine what you do. But now is not the time for that. Now is for you to step forward and say what it is that you want, and to move yourself forward towards it, and what you really want from a really loving space for yourself, and to really tame that part of yourself which, you know, wants to say, well, no, I'm never going to have that, I'm not good enough, that's not for me. You really need to tame that now. And then we've got the Hermit card, and this is for me about going internally, going inwards, so that you can find that light. Most people think that something outside of themselves is going to save them, is going to, you know, tell them what to do. And for me, that's really disempowering and not what, you know, what this experience is about. And so go inside so you can see your strength and see the path that is meant for you, because it will be revealed. Genuinely, honestly, from my own experience and from what I, you know, receive message wise, it's always, you have, I know it sounds cliched, but you do have everything that you need in order to be, to live this life in a wonderful way. And so it's really important to go inside, to reflect, take time to be quiet, so that you can hear that voice and you can hear the messages. Otherwise you'll just be distracted by everything that's going on and by other people's voices, which, you know, nothing wrong with that, but is it going to lead you to where you really want to be? That's, you know, something to consider. So that's the weekly guidance for the week ahead. So just remember to, when you're in that fearful state, acknowledge it, give it that space to be felt and experienced, but then move on, transition into a loving space for yourself, and, you know, go into nature, breathe, all that type of stuff. And then just be aware of where you focus your attention in the week ahead. Are you focusing on all the doom and gloom, or are you focusing on what's possible? Where could my life go? And really remember your strength and tame that part of yourself which says, no, I can't do it, that, you know, it's not for me. And also give yourself that time to reflect and go internally, because it's such a big part of helping you to determine where you go next. So I hope you find that really helpful, supportive in your journey. That's what the energy I'm sending for you in the week ahead. And if there's anything that I can do to support you, please let me know, and I'd love to help you. So I'll see you next time. Have a great week. Bye.